Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Broken Tables and Broken Dreams proudly presents episode 3. I'm Joe Conzi. He's Ben Damagala. We have an action-packed episode for you today. And why is that, Ben?
Because we got our first guest, Joe Cons. We got our first guest. We have some awesome T-shirts on. Why don't you show people what you're working with
Let
there?
It Rain?
Yes.
Yeah, my Let It Rain
absolutely.
T-shirt.
Two of the best people in the world. And where did you get that, Joe?
Yeah, Store 716.
Yeah, there you go, baby.
What we love.
I've got Benny the Butcher coming at you. Look at that shit.
Just going to get lawsuits filed left and right. Our guest today, some people love him. Some people hate him. Some people can't live without him.
Yep.
But I can tell you there's one fan base that can't live without him, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Absolutely. What I really want to know, and what I'm sure our viewers want to know, is how the hell was your weekend?
My weekend was fantastic, Joseph. Thank you so much for asking me. Lots of work getting done. Went to a cabin in Varysburg for a little bit that our friends Vinnie and Dolce own. I did have some more killer food, like we talked about last time. I think that's what this entire segment is just going to be, me talking about food.
When is it ever not you talking about food? Don't you plan your vacations around food?
Yes. If you follow me on Instagram, it's very, very easy to see.
Bill's Rants, Bill's Rants, Sabres Rants, and then just like some crab legs from Louisiana.
Right, which if you're commenting on our page and you're surprised that my behavior is like this, I'm unhinged, and I know this. Anyway, so I went to Brickyard because I was showing houses in Lewiston, which is like a nice, cool, it's been there forever. It's like a smoke kind of place. They smoke meats and stuff like that. They actually low-key have incredible wings, like smoked, not saucy, but like rubbed wings.
Ooh, love me a rubbed wing.
We sat on the patio at Battle Flag for their cocktails, brought wings over. Absolutely fantastic. And then other than working and doing that, not a whole lot going on other than everything going on in the practice squad that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But other than that, how was your weekend, Joe?
Well, speaking of hell, I was in literal hell, and pretty sure if I walk into a church, it'll burn down because of the things I said about Notre Dame losing to the U, Miami University, on Saturday. I'm upset still. Pretty sure I walked out of a bar and threw a tantrum. But for those that don't know, playing along at home, I've been a Notre Dame fan since I was like 6 years old. Funny story of how I ended up as a Notre Dame fan. My grandfather, who passed away when I was 14, God rest his soul, he was a degenerate gambler, and there were two teams we followed back in the day, Villanova basketball and Notre Dame football. And since I was 6 years old, I've just loved the culture around it, everything about it. If you've ever been to Notre Dame Stadium, it's unlike any other stadium you've ever been to.
Oh, cool. I've heard it's like, again, I'm not big into college sports. We've talked about this before.
Right.
The only college town that I have any connection to from my father is Penn State.
Right.
But I don't watch it. So I always admired good connections like this to teams like that.
Well, just 27-24, a dagger. They had the ball. They're driving the field. They can't get it done. Still a lot of season left, but you would have thought the season was over. But it's better than being an an Alabama Crimson Tide fan right now. They are atrocious, and bettors are taking their foot off the gas now in Alabama. So a lot of college football season left. There's a lot out there that are like, Conzi, after what you said, I didn't know if there was any hope. There's hope. They have a bye week coming up, and then they play Texas A&M at home. And then they play Purdue, which I'll be there for that.
You're going to Purdue?
I'm going to Notre Dame Purdue at Notre Dame Stadium.
Okay.
Got to pay a visit to Touchdown Jesus. So
I don't know what that is, but I trust you.
I will send videos to you or put it on the Broken Tables and Broken Dreams Instagram page. If you haven't followed us, click that follow.
Give us a follow.
If you think we're annoying, just follow us anyway and then just make fun of us. It's fun. We love those kind of followers.
Absolutely. It's totally perfect.
So without further ado, the man, the myth, the legend, goes by Lord Urban, sometimes goes by best friend, sometimes goes by has been,
sometimes
never was.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever he says. Ladies and gentlemen, Vincent Garofalo.
Lord Urban.
Oh.
Lord Urban.
I'm bearing gifts.
Well, you have gifts?
I have gifts. You guys didn't know about this, so this wasn't like that.
You're setting a high bar for any other
stage moment of any sort.
I did not know anything about this.
Go get your pony in the sauce.
He brought the Sunday sauce.
Get out of here.
Sunday sauce.
There you go.
Dun, 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 dun. I
I
mean,
will say the catering department in this podcast is horrendous. I wasn't offered any soft drinks, any
mine over
refreshments,
there.
any hard drinks, any hard stuff, any cigarettes. Not the best first impression, but whatever.
So
You should put your
microphone to your
microphone.
left if you
Yeah.
need it.
Where is it?
Probably right there.
This guy?
Yeah, that
Yes.
guy right there.
Man, this is what they give me.
You've just been yelling.
That's what they give us.
This is what they give me.
This is how we treat him here. Vinny, welcome to
Thanks for having me.
our podcast.
Appreciate it.
You're our
boys.
first
Appreciate
guest.
it.
Sorry,
Long
no-
overdue. Long overdue.
Long overdue. Awesome. It's great.
He's telling me to put the mic up.
Put the mic up a little bit. So first timer.
First timer.
So Vinny, we have to know. You're dressed in your Chief stuff. We know your story, but let our viewers in on how do you become a Kansas City Chiefs fan with a Bronx accent?
I became a Chiefs fan when I was in second grade. My dad was a big Joe Montana fan.
Joe Montana or Joe Montana?
Joe Montana, you crazy asshole. So when I became a fan, he had just been traded to the Chiefs from the Niners. So my dad, being a Niners fan at the time, was pretty fed up with the whole situation where they, chose Steve Young over him. And he went to Kansas City, and he was, pack your shit, we're going to Kansas City. So I've been a Chiefs fan since the 93-94 season. And here we are.
That's a bold decision because, with all due
Even the
respect,
Niners dynasty.
there's that Steve Young,
Yeah.
Jerry Rice, Terrell Owens.
That seemed
whole-
to work out for them, but it's worked out for me, I guess. It just took a little longer.
Well, for me, like where you grew up and everywhere you've lived, it was always interesting to me that
always
was
been,
the
like,
team
the
that
weird
stuck
thing.
with you because you lived in the Bronx, right?
100%.
You lived in Ellicottville.
People
and
will
now you're
reference
here.
that too. They're like, "Oh, you're not a Jets or Giants fan," and then generally my response is like, "Have you ever met a Jets or Giants fan?" And that's usually like my way out of that conversation. No, I love that it's like my weird Midwestern team that kind of has identified me in terms of like football over the years, and I love it, and it's paid off quite well over the past few years. So.
Oh yeah.
We've had a few cocktails. We've
Just a few.
couple
Over the years.
pops. We've
sodas.
talked a lot about sports, and I think what's incredible about your sports culture, your sports knowledge, the way you were brought up in sports is you saw a Yankees dynasty.
Sure.
You saw one of the greatest New York Rangers team win a Stanley Cup after their captain said, "We will win.
We will win."
And they did.
If they didn't, he would have been out of town probably
Quicker.
the next offseason.
Yeah. And then
Still waiting on that to happen again.
there's the Chiefs dynasty, which,
Yeah.
gosh, it's so painful for us to say.
I never thought that would ever be a thing, honestly.
That's all great, watching all of that.
Sure.
But what's incredible about the dynasty is the fact that you had the chance, you had a moment with Patrick Mahomes that Ben and I, we were happy for you because we had witnessed you go through so much, which we'll get to later about
Sure.
the bar that you owned. But everything you'd been through, you watch this dynasty and you get to meet the guy that literally took you guys to the promised land multiple times.
elite fan experience. I mean, one of the coolest things ever, just, being at a parade and bringing a prop that is so, recognizable to the moment, being a replica Lombardi trophy and holding it over the barricade. And, the mayor of Kansas City touched it, a few players touched it. And then here comes Patrick Mahomes, walking up, and I basically just shoved it into his chest, and I'm just like, let's see if this works. And it went pretty viral. It was a pretty cool fan moment for sure.
Forever immortalized on your leg too.
Yes,
And it's actually really
that
good.
is, I have a picture of me on me, so that's it. The artists include my wonky eye when I was drunk too. Yeah, so that was.
You can find that on his socials. It is
It's
everywhere.
Yeah.
that
So
picture.
it was cool, man. Like, and the wild part about that day is my phone died, like right in the middle of all that happening. So when I get back to the hotel, it was just like, bing, 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 bing. They're like, dude, you're everywhere. And I think the video to date has like over 70 million views. Like the initial video taken, which was basically him returning my replica trophy, but people interpreting it as or misinterpreting it as him giving me the actual Lombardi trophy and just walking off. So they're like, "How drunk was Mahomes?" Like, homie just left the dude the trophy. So I'm happy to be a part of that weird snafu in Chiefs history. So
People say how drunk was Mahomes, but what we really want to know is how drunk were you? Because I remember later that night I was gonna call you, and instead of calling, I get this just text message of this meatball face,
I was
and
just so
then
excited.
just Patrick Mahomes, and I'm he freaking did it. He
Anyone
did it.
with ears, I'm like, I got to tell them what happened. And then, it was the coolest thing ever. And then I actually got back from my flight to the bar. I go to the bar first just to kind of, look at me, and it's on TMZ Sports at the bar as I walk in. So everyone's just like, Jesus Christ, this is just never gonna end.
That was the funniest
insufferability,
day.
yeah.
It was the funniest day. Everybody we know was texting me like, "Is that Vin?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, that's Vin. Of course it's Vin." And like I remember taking that day and just scouring every social media I had to be like, "Holy shit,
Yeah.
dude!"
What's funny about it is people would walk up to me and go, "Do you see that jackass with the Lombardi trophy?" It's like
yeah,
that jackass is one
I
of my
know
best
him
friends,
I know him
man.
really well.
I know him very well. I actually
Really?
worked for him. Like it's pretty cool.
It's funny because like people over the years who I don't see often in like everyday life are like, dude, you found a way to insert yourself. Like you weirdo. You had to just find a way out of all those people. And I'm just like, I'm super, super happy it happened because a trophy guy was born. And I feel like I am in whatever, regard it may be. And I'm a part of the history of that team. I mean, that year at least. And it was pretty sweet. I'll hold on to that for a while.
I think being, Ben and I being so immersed in Bill's Mafia,
Sure.
sometimes we're just so biased about how great our fan base is.
Yeah.
And I think when that happened, we got to see, an inside track into Chiefs Kingdom.
Sure.
And I think there's a lot of Chiefs fans in Buffalo.
There's a lot more than I thought.
Yeah.
And once I opened the bar, and we'll get to that, I actually met and found out there's a huge following here. But that's not to take away from Bill's Mafia. I mean, they are an insane fan base. Like people from Kansas City ask me like, "What's it really like?" And I'm like, "These people are just lunatics." Like home opener week 1, I'm like, you want to be there whether you're a fan or not. It is an event. It's a social event. It is a a generational event. You want to be there and feel that energy because not much beats it. And like the tailgates at Arrowhead, they're legendary. We have 2 old school AFL fan bases that are rich in tradition with that small town feel that are just hungry for a winner. And I feel like one team maybe just got started a little earlier, than the other.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's pretty much it.
That shocking to me when he opened that bar.
Yeah.
And then gradually, it was just a sea of red. And especially because my entire fandom exists at that time for the drought, right? Like we had just broken it. And then I look around and you really only ever really see visiting teams when there's a game.
Yeah.
Sitting in that bar and seeing that sea of red, especially early on. I still got pictures of you holding that first Lombardi, bawling your eyes out.
One of the funnest
with
nights of my
like
life.
a whole sea of people
So
around you.
surreal
It was-
because I would have been
yeah.
happy with like 3 or 4 guys.
right.
And when I initially opened the bar, it was never going to be like a Chiefs backer bar. I'm like, I'll hang some Chiefs shit on the walls. If people come, they know that we exist. I'm happy to welcome people. And then it kind of spiraled into, and a lot of them are genuine Chiefs fans.
Right.
They're older. They're not this like, oh, I like Patrick Mahomes and all this. It's like they suffered through the years. And I think that's what kind of built this, family and like brotherhood of us. Getting together every Sunday, and it was great. And I feel like Bills fans were super gracious in a lot of ways, like letting us kind of have that until we became rivals the very next year. So I feel like I totally perpetuated that by having
Right.
the bar. But
Right.
yeah, it surprised me a lot too, which was really cool.
If you want to cover that next. So that whole area specifically embraced you for the longest time.
Sure.
And then you won that. And then we started getting annoyed. And then we were like, God damn it, we just went through the Patriots with this shit. So my first question to you is like, when that started turning, did you ever at any point when you made the shift to Chiefs Bar and backers and stuff like that? The obvious answer here is no. But did you ever regret any part of just full bore doing that?
No, because I mean, if you looked at the bar, we also had like Bill stuff up in there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
We knew where we were and what city we were in. I felt like it, that was a super important to get the graciousness, like back and forth. Like we'll have Bills stuff in here. We'll have Bills games on. We rarely play at the same time. You would even see me in Chiefs stuff or like in Bill stuff if we weren't, playing that day.
Yep.
Happy to support the home team. There was never a moment of regret. There was a moment of regret in terms of like, I wish they weren't rivals.
Yeah.
Because this is answering hateful emails all week.
Yep.
Or doing like media for both. It kind of took a lot out of me in the sense that like, I miss just enjoying that game with like a small group of people. And then it like totally like ballooned into this crazy, like, oh, it's Bills week. It's, and it was wild, but yeah, no regrets. I mean, it was a cool experience. And I feel like even Bills fans would come there just despite it being a Chiefs bar. And
Yep.
there was a lot of like give and take where there wasn't as much hate as I thought there would have been. So it was cool. I mean, I got a chance to meet a lot of fun people and talk a lot of shit with some smart, football people. So yeah, it was cool.
It always disappointed me when I would talk you guys up because, when you owned that place, best pub food I ever had.
Sure.
The ambience was great. You had the parking lot. You had everything. It was a really, really cool spot,
Still
especially in that area.
Yeah,
Right.
Still is.
You go there for wings. I mean,
Yeah.
just because I'm not there doesn't mean like the product has suffered. I mean,
Yeah, I don't mean to just completely shut everybody.
wings are
It's
bomb.
still an
Go to
excellent
Casey's
spot.
for wings. They know what
Right.
they're doing.
Just with you, it was.
Well,
It
yeah,
was always.
I know what you're getting at. Like the narrative, it's like, oh, that Chiefs bar.
Yeah, people
It's
would
like-
say to me, they're like, "I'm not going there." I'm like, "Come on,
And I
dude,
always
it's
like
good people."
wonder in like retrospect. I'm like, if it wasn't a Chiefs bar, would our success have been greater? And I believe so. But like, at what cost? It's like this is who we are. We were unapologetically ourselves, whether it was the Chiefs or whether it was our customer base, which was incredibly diverse, and we were just us. And I'm super proud of that. We were that spot where like you can just be yourself unapologetically, whether it was like who you rooted for, what you looked like, how you acted, who you were friends with. And that's one of my, the prouder moments in all of that, despite all the Chiefs stuff aside. So
Sure.
I think one of my there's a lot of proud moments
Watch catering is filming water.
kind of sitting in the passenger seat, maybe the driver or the back seat, watching this unfold is not only the sports part of it,
Sure.
it's the drive, like the toy drives you did,
Yeah.
a lot of people, would comment on the Facebook thread and say, I can't believe that you, a Bills fan, would support a Chiefs bar,
Sure,
and
sure.
then here's a toy drive, and I think that's the one thing that I loved most about what you did and all the Chiefs fans that rallied with the Bills
Sure.
fans. It was instead of yelling at each other on who the better quarterback is, for one weekend, we were donating toys to the Boys and Girls Club here in Buffalo.
And it's crazy because even before we opened, I never had like, okay, we're gonna do fundraisers, we're gonna do all this stuff. It just it came so organically, and it's just like it felt like the right thing to do to kind of like the community is supporting us. Let's support the community, especially on the holidays. I mean, there are people that can have and people that can't have.
Yeah.
So it's like if we're in any position to rally together and help and do these incredible things, whether it's things with the Special Olympics, the Boulder Plunge, and like the Buffalo Bowl, or our toy drives, or we did some events with Roswell, like Karaoke for Cancer, with and that was headed by a Chiefs fan actually. So it was awesome, and probably the thing that I'm most proud of is like all the money that we raised and all the people that we were fortunate enough to help, and super awesome. But people put the Bills Chiefs shit aside for that, and I really will always hold that close to my heart, honestly.
What I think is incredible about the toy drive too is the first year it was at Casey's.
Yeah.
The second year we did it at Town Ballroom.
Yeah.
The third year we were trying to go bigger.
Sure.
But what was funny was that
What did we have it the third year?
at Casey's. We went back to
Yeah,
Casey's,
yeah.
and
then
we
did
couldn't
Casey's
move
one more time.
We couldn't move at Casey's.
Sure.
There was
Yeah.
too many people there. There was too many toys.
It felt right.
It
at
felt
Casey's.
right at Casey's.
It was
like,
great at Ballroom.
Oh yeah, of course.
That was
Ballroom was
that was
amazing.
crazy.
It was
and
amazing.
We did really well, but just like logistically, it just felt more of like hours.
Yeah.
Having at the bar, and you were Santa Claus one of the years.
Yeah.
So
I was.
we'll leave that.
Yeah, that's
we'll leave
right,
that
you
story.
were.
We'll leave that story for a different
I
episode.
forgot about that.
But yeah. So Joe was Santa Claus one year, and it was great, man. The Buffalo Police helped out, and other bars, a ton of donations and a ton of help from employees, old, new. It was super, super great, man.
This rivalry, and even like just the Bills in general, I know this happens with Chiefs Kingdom now too, but even like Bills Ravens, Bills Chiefs, something good always comes out of it, win or lose. Like
Unless you're a Ravens fan.
unless you're a Ravens fan,
Unless you're Mark Andrews.
but
The Ravens too.
it's like the Bills lose to the Chiefs in the playoffs, and then all of a sudden you're getting $17 donations to the
100%.
to the Oshai's Children's Hospital, the Patricia Allen wing. It's incredible, and I think Bills Mafia started it. Bills Mafia started. We're gonna own this, okay? And I just love
Andy Dalton.
Well, Andy Dalton,
Yeah,
and I just
yeah.
think that it's incredible to see how sports has finally taken, the initiative to do something amazing when you're, throwing a tantrum that your team lost.
Sure.
It's incredible. So, congrats to you for
Appreciate
seeing that. And a lot of people go, oh well, it's not just fundraising. You're doing a good thing for the community, and
100%.
that's amazing. So yeah, you're out of the bar game right now.
Retired.
Enjoying family life.
Oh, dude, it's a really fun summer. You know, I have 2 young kids. You know, 5 and 7, and to have an uninterrupted summer with them, super, you know, into what they were doing and watching them grow. It was something I'll always hold very close. Can't wait to get back to work though.
Yeah.
And they went back to school as of yesterday, so I think we're both getting a little sick of each other. And yeah, I'm excited to see what's next for sure.
Yeah. I think what's incredible is you've always mentioned that your youngest son one day may be a Bills fan just because of his friends.
Sure.
But your daughter, hands down, is probably a bigger Chiefs fan than you are at heart.
She's a bigger Chiefs fan than some people that I know that are Chiefs fans. She just rides with dad. Like, that's my ride or die for sure. Enzo's kind of he's getting there though, man. He's getting a little hostile. Where I'm like, you go to a public school, you're small. Yeah. Maybe lay low for a while. Maybe not scream, Bill suck, because Daddy doesn't do that.
Imagine having like a young girl walk up to you and go, "Your team stinks," and I'm like, nope, that's Vinny's child.
It's a funny story because, like I said before, if we weren't playing at the same time as the Bills and I'd been bartending, I would wear, like my Josh Allen jersey. And I would get a dry cleaned each
Thank you
week.
for that, by the way.
Okay, listen,
it's
man,
a good gift.
Dude, like 17's the man. Oh, for your birthday.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Like 17's the man. Listen, if those 2 teams ever play each other, everyone knows what side I'm on, but you cannot deny 17 is an absolute killer. And I love watching him play, and I love the way he plays the game, and he's got a big set on him. And I think every football fan can appreciate that. That being said, I would get my the jersey dry cleaned after each game. So Sophia, my daughter, sees it on the front seat in like the Colvin Cleaners bag. She goes, "What's that? That Josh Allen jersey?" I'm like, "It's for my buddy." She goes, "Daddy, it's too big to fit him." So not only did she politely call me fat, but the cat was out of the bag, and she goes, "Mommy said you like Josh Allen." I'm like, shit.
I know a little girl too. She probably looked at you like Judge Judy. Who's on the phone?
I felt like I was getting a polygraph test, But yeah, she
really. Where'd you get it?
She's a ride or die. So I love that for them. But they're already gaining a reputation at school for being Chiefs fans. Yeah,
great.
They had a rally last year during the AFC Championship game week, and Sophia went jersey, Chiefs sweatsuit, hat. I was like, bold move, Cotton.
It's getting pretty serious with the kids too now. Like teachers are like, "You can't wear that," and they're like, "I wear whatever I want."
Yeah, right.
So like, this is not going to help your grade at all.
It's great, man. See, the kids, you got everything. You're at home. I know you're ready to get back to work, but there's an important piece to the house that you hold near and dear to your heart.
Sure.
And for those that are wondering, we're going to talk about this. And if you don't know about it, it's because you can't afford it. Just kidding. It's invite only.
It's like a Z job. You gotta ask too many questions.
Tell us about Danny's on 58.
Danny's on 58 is just this brain child that I created out in my garage. Me and my brother, who passed away some years ago, my kid brother, we'd always talked about like open a bar or a club together. It was our thing. It was always something that we had planned to do. So when I opened up Casey's, I was kind of bummed I didn't get to share that with him. Fast forward, I sell Casey's, and I'm like, I have all this shit and this empty space, and I have all these crazy ideas. So I'm like, let's just put a bar at the house out in the garage. A lot of Kenmore driveways don't allow you to actually pull your car into the driveway through the garage. So my wife, she obliged and let me use this space, this 30 by 25 square, to create this really cool place with relics from things I've been, collecting for years. Chiefs regalia, some Notre Dame stuff, Knicks stuff, Duke, Rangers, all my favorite teams, with a full bar. We have gathered since a few times to watch the UFC fights.
It's a man cave on steroids.
It is Casey's condensed into a quarter of the space.
He has.
It's busy.
A case with 4 Lombardi trophies in it, polished with white gloves.
And it makes us really sad every time we go there.
He's got turf on the floor in case he ever wants to wrestle.
Yeah, which actually happened week 1. Shout out to Alex Coles. Didn't really end well for me, as I was sore in spots that I didn't know you could ever be sore in. But yeah, we won't do that anymore. Yeah. No more Oklahoma drills after tequila shots.
Plus, you don't want to get out of line, Ben. Why is that?
Yeah, because Joe will beat the crap out of you. I already watched it happen.
He did, yeah.
We watched too much UFC that night.
Yeah.
But
we watched 2 grown men sharing a brain. Come on down to Danny's. That's
perfect.
Yeah. For those playing along at home, it's just his man cave.
Yeah,
it's really just what it is.
It's dope. 16 feet from my back door, and my wife lets me just act like a fool with my friends. Yeah. So actually, like the name Danny's on 58th Danny was my younger brother, and the 58 is an homage to Derek Thomas, who, in my opinion, was the greatest Chief.
Cool.
126 sacks and I believe 115 games. You can argue he's one of the best defensive players of our life, our generation, and died in his prime. So wanted to kind of give it a New York feel. So Danny's on 58th was born. So yeah.
Hell
We have logos, signage, all things that normal man caves don't have. But yeah.
What's incredible is Vinny and I always have this bet every year when the Chiefs and Bills meet up in the playoffs that Vinny has to wear a Bruce Smith jersey, which there's a infamous photo of Bruce Smith standing over Joe Montana after completely just annihilating
That was the
him.
first year I was a Chiefs fan.
And what's incredible?
My dad's like drunk, but he's like, "Look at your hero out there! Look at him!" And I'm like, "Oh my God." Yeah.
And what's incredible?
I still rooted for the Bills the following week in the Super Bowl against Dallas, though. I will say that.
But what's funny about it is I lose every year. So the deal is that I have to wear a Mahomes jersey, but
You have to make bets in the regular season. You guys kick our ass.
yeah.
Because
Well,
that's
what's incredible
how it
about it
goes.
is Vinny is nice enough to lend me the Derek Thomas jersey, which is the jersey that you lend to special people.
special. Yeah, I guess you could say that.
That's a way to put it.
Okay. But yeah, no,
Joe has graciously donned Chiefs gear for me.
and got a lot of hate for it.
A lot of shit for it,
I'm
yeah.
a diehard Bills fan.
A lot
and
of
I
shit for
will
it.
always put my money on my team. Every year I think we're going to do
It's
it. we
basically
don't.
just me being like, Joe, you have to do this because at the time when we started doing this, there weren't enough bodies to fill.
Yeah.
So I'm like, look the part, please. And he's like, dude, I'm like, you have to.
And
he was working for me. I'm like, you're fucking doing this.
I took
Yeah.
one for
yeah.
the team.
Yeah.
I took one for the team. But I got to say, out of all the team jerseys that I've worn, you will never catch me in a Boston Red Sox jersey.
Yeah,
and you know this.
I would wear an Al Qaeda uniform before I wore a Boston Red Sox uniform. That was the first one. We're all waiting for when that was going to happen. Everyone has limits.
I get it.
I mean, yeah. Tell me what their uniform looks like. Dirt in a coffin.
Great. Well,
Don't edit that out. Ian.
Let's talk some ball, boys.
Let's talk some ball, boys. I don't know. So we do this. We have a lot of things that we do on the show.
I'm gonna grab some more water.
Go ahead. We go back and
Excuse
forth a lot about this. But before, we go back and forth about the Bills a lot. We'll actually touch on the Bills before we head into the NFL predictions with Vinny.
Yeah.
Because it's going to go real quick. The rapid fire divisions, especially with this guy.
Yeah, right.
It's going to be probably like a 3-minute segment because this guy's just firing all cylinders tonight.
Right.
Practice squad. When I was like 9 years old, I had no idea what a practice squad was.
Sure.
The news never talked about it. Not many people really talked about the practice squad. Lately, the Bills and other teams, I feel like the Bills use the practice squad differently than a lot of teams. And maybe it's just to re-sign retreads. I don't know. But Ben, you are
Ben's gonna
like...
get worked up in a
Ben's
second.
getting worked up.
I've been waiting for this all week.
I got him so worked up. The reason I was so awkward in this transition is because I don't know how this is going to go. But we were talking the other day, Gabe Davis signing to the practice squad was like your nail in the coffin for you because the Bills signed Jordan Phillips to the practice squad, Jordan Poyer to the practice squad, and then Gabe Davis. And we just got done talking about the wide receiver issue. Ben, take it away.
Can I
Ready to go? Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to start. It's not going to be full fire and brimstone, but here's the thing. Okay,
Guys, always
I
got a food
understand.
reference.
No, listen. I understand.
That's a Kane reference.
I
from WWE.
understand that we are in a championship arc with this team. They are incredible. They are very, very good. I cannot do Brandon Beane's job. I can't do Sean McDermott's job. I sure as shit can't do Josh Allen's job. Okay? Let's just get all of that out of the way. When you have this high of expectations, so many more things get scrutinized harder. 12 years ago, I did not give a shit who was on the practice squad. But coming in now off of years now where your secondary repeatedly gets hurt and does not perform when it needs to, your receiver room, same shit. I am going to look at who you sign on the practice squad because they might be playing meaningful minutes. It happens. I had somebody ask me the other day. They're like, are you really getting mad over a practice squad? How many times do they actually play? Look it up.
Those guys are elevated for a
Look
reason.
up how many of them
Teams
get
elevate
elevated.
guys off the practice squad all the time.
Every game.
Water is
they
wet
get
and players will get
Yes.
hurt. It's a tough game.
Every game. My thing is this, okay? I understand the end where I understand the end of the side of the coin. Jesus Christ. Where
Going off the rails,
where
ladies
you
and
want to
gentlemen.
sign somebody who's familiar with the system and you want to have that veteran presence and you you get them back for cheap because they left for more money. That's the only reason you had them leave. I understand all of these arguments. But after the fourth or fifth time, get some new phone numbers, dude. You've got Jordan Poyer, Jordan Phillips, Gabe Davis. You had Levi Wallace potentially coming in. Like,
oh, Levi Wallace?
Yes. This is like the dude who's in his mid-30s and he can't find the one to spend the rest of his life with. So when he gets desperate, he texts the ex from high school. You up. This is what is happening. We know what these dudes do.
But sometimes they get a text back.
Yeah,
It's like, yep.
4 times in this case this year.
Hey, you
Gotta
up?
work out sometime.
You up?
Yeah.
Like, listen, I want to emphasize this. I understand these are first world problems in a top A class organization now. They've digging themselves out from the dirt. Like I said, who cares about practice squad? I do, because everything is scrutinized nowadays. And maybe if you didn't have $25 million tied up in the most middle to low contracts in the league, you can look this up. The Bills are the worst at this. You could have made a play for Micah Parsons. You could have made a play for somebody else at $25 million a year. And Rhett.
Wow. Tough crowd.
No, did I hear correct? They freed up $8 million today.
They did.
They did, but it was
Dion.
But it was already going to happen.
And they're going to have to let Poyer go to sign Davis. Then they can re-sign Jordan Poyer back.
And then just remove an existing person on the practice
Exactly.
squad. Probably,
Go ahead, sorry.
Which is funny because Bills fans lately are like, why are we letting him go? It's like, it's literally a money thing. No, it's not. And then like the next day, they're like,
I'm the same way where I'm like, that's a surprise cut. And then like there's a roundabout.
Did that happen to
Yeah.
Carson Steele?
It did.
Okay.
I was more surprised with the Chiefs letting Robert Tonyan go.
Yeah.
Because they drafted a kid last year, Jared Wiley, who, like prototype Travis Kelce mold.
Yeah.
Got hurt. So he was a sure lock for the third tight end. Usually Andy Reid carries 4. So, the Kelsey Gray, and they didn't keep Tonyan, but then in a roundabout way, he's actually on the active 53 now, because they have a receiver that they drafted who's hurt this week, who is not on the active roster. So,
Which is
it all works out.
Which
I guess.
is wild because before the season started, before training camp started, Jordan Phillips was like, I'm not playing for any other team.
Well,
And it's
right.
like, okay, cool. And like, you know what? I'm not upset about Jordan Phillips because I actually do think he still has a little bit left in the tank. I think he does provide good pass rush. Don't get me wrong. Out of the 3 that
Right.
re-signed, but when you posted what you posted on social media, and some guy goes, and you said, "Why don't we bring back Isaiah McKenzie?" And then he tweeted,
he tweeted it.
"Bring back Isaiah
Elite
McKenzie."
timing.
Elite timing.
Elite
I was
timing.
I
like,
saw it like in real time, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
I went back to your post. I was like, is there
I was like,
is
oh my
there a
gosh.
reply? Yeah.
Like, and again,
Quasimodo predicted
and
this.
again, like
Nostradamus.
Nostradamus.
I do understand like the good to it. I really do. But I have just been
tired of it.
so burned from this going back to the well that never won. This well never won. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't need an 8th wide receiver right now. Your corners might not start.
Who are their? Okay, so they kept what 6 receivers initially on the 53.
Yep.
So
And the one was Tyrell Shavers that everyone was banging the table
So
about.
Yeah.
Shavers, Coleman,
Palmer.
Moore, Palmer,
Samuel.
and
Whoever's they got one on the practice squad right now. I think it's a
And
rookie they
Shakir.
drafted.
Shakir's your
yeah,
number 1.
Sure.
Yeah. So you got 8 there.
He's familiar with the offense.
He is familiar with the
Proven.
offense. Right.
There's a reason for the drop off last
There's
year.
100%. Well, he was injured all year, so
Sure.
he's rehabbing a meniscus tear.
Okay.
I just don't want players saying, I'll go back to the Bills, and then it's like, oh, come back. Like, I don't like that.
I don't like
Sometimes
that.
it does. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does.
And you just gave that job to Tyrell Shavers. You just
Yeah.
rewarded him for him.
So you're almost like undermining
Yeah.
a guy that you rewarded by saying, okay,
Right.
just in case you're not the guy that we think that you are,
right.
here's someone that is a retread.
100%.
Basically,
And,
yeah.
and there's other things too. Like Dwayne Carter just went out with a torn Achilles heel.
Yeah.
And like I said, both of your corners, Benford was limited today.
Yeah.
Trey, limited. McDermott didn't know if either were going to start this Sunday. So can you imagine facing that offense and Jamarcus Ingram and Strong are your 2 corners coming into that game?
I do think there's some gamesmanship to that too. A lot of people say that. I do think that McDermott holds it close to the
Sure.
vest. I really do. I think that Trey has been okay. I think Khalil Shakir has been okay. I think it's just precaution. And I think that
Well, you know what? He needs a separate phone to call me and get
tell
this
you?
goddamn anxiety down. I hate
okay.
this shit.
Are you the Bills practice squad like consigliere?
yeah,
must
he is
be.
apparently. I guess
He's the consigliere.
apparently. But no, and I'm that's the thing that I've just noticed the last it's got to be the last 7 years. Just the practice squad is where you stash good players. Great idea in theory, but I think of guys like Shavers. The one guy that I feel terrible for is Frank Gore Jr. I think he's a baller, and there's just never going to be a way for him to see the field in Buffalo. And I wouldn't be surprised if a team that saw him in preseason was like, you know what? Why don't you come play over here? You could be the number 2 back.
He is on the practice squad.
He's on the practice squad.
Okay, well,
but he's behind Cook, Davis, Ty Johnson.
He should be behind Cook and Davis. I mean,
Ty Johnson's a great pass catching running back though. Out of the backfield, he runs that wheel
third
route.
down back.
Yeah, he's great.
I
I'm also very biased because I think he's an awesome,
Sure, and
awesome
I'm also
player.
I'm learning as I'm going to hear about year 53 and who your depth is. So
I never thought Gore was going to be that high in regard to the. Here's why. Because they don't ever really give up on their laurels. We've talked about this.
I gotcha.
If they don't score high on the RAS, he got like a 10 on the RAS. He's slow. The athletic ability really isn't
He's
there.
a bruiser,
Of course he does. Of course
like his dad. He's a bruiser like his dad.
Right. And I just don't know if they value that at this time. They are still in the mode of get me athletic freaks and I will put them in places.
I think their bruiser is behind center.
Oh, yeah.
I think
that's the way
in terms of like short yardage, that's the guy that they rely on the most. And rightfully so. It's proven that he's not going to get hurt doing what he does.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So why not utilize him where he's at his best?
Do you have a favorite Bill besides Josh Allen at all?
Or did you have a favorite Bill?
Like if you could pick one on the current roster right now, who do you like?
We know who you didn't like.
I like Milano.
But you didn't like Diggs.
I didn't like Diggs because he's a cancer wherever he goes. He was a cancer at Maryland. He was a cancer in Minnesota. He'll find a way to ruin, like Drake May. What got me with Diggs is the Cincinnati playoff game, shouting in the face of your quarterback during the low point of the season. It just shows who you are, man. And you're in a perfect place now where there's a young quarterback. Let's see you just do what you do and fuck things up. Seriously. And that's what I think that was a lot of Bills fans hated that move. I loved it. It freed up money. It allowed guys like Shakir to evolve into. Shakir's a legit problem for a lot of defenses. He has been for us, and I think had Diggs been around here more, it just takes targets because Josh feel like he loved getting him the ball because they had that, rapport, and Diggs is a loudmouth and every quarterback should not play favorites.
I agree with you to an extent because you and I have always been polar opposite on this.
Sure.
And you know this. There's a certain part of me that says I like that somebody didn't had the ball because I never want my quarterback to be a kingmaker.
Sure.
I mean, because sitting here right now, do we really have the best backup quarterbacks we could have, or are they just Josh's friends?
Don't hate Shane
Sure.
Buechele like that.
You know what I mean? Like
former Chief.
Are we really running all of the plays? And I'm not saying I don't want
100%.
Josh. I don't want Josh to have any influence on anything, but I also don't want him just thinking that he doesn't have to check in.
Sure.
Which he's self-motivated. Right. He's self-accountable.
You can argue the offense was better without Diggs. It was more versatile. The run game really, really showed out. And I think that's important to you let your quarterback evolve into a more, diverse, playbook. And just there was times where he looked for Diggs when he had no business looking for Diggs.
Is it because he wanted to do that, or is it because nobody else could hold a candle?
I think it's because Diggs is an asshole, and listen, as a lot of number one receivers are, he wants the ball. And listen, dude, Diggs is great.
Here's the thing.
Diggs is great, but don't fuck with the rhythm of your offense because you want to keep this one guy happy. I think that's the best thing about, Kelsey and Mahomes is Kelsey has never been like, I want the ball. He's like, I'll be happy to fucking run decoy routes or get doubled. So, dude, they won a Super Bowl with the most drops and a pretty awful receiving core.
Sure.
And I think it was a testament to them just kind of making it work and letting,
But Diggs was also the first person to hit that podium after the 13 seconds game and say, I only got 7 yards. I don't give a shit. The other guy went off.
Yeah, but here's the nail in the coffin for me on Diggs. Okay. When Josh throws that 65-yard bomb against the Chiefs,
the divisional round,
which would have ended,
should have caught it.
Which should have caught it. And then he goes like this. What does that mean? Do you mean you almost had it, or do you mean he missed you?
No. I never watched that throw in real time because I was so like anxiety ridden. I was in Puerto Rico at a weird bar that turned out to be a Bills bar on my wife's birthday.
Yeah.
So it was just, and I watched him play over and over again. I'm like, ones catch that ball. CeeDee Lamb catches that ball. AJ Brown catches that ball. Without a doubt.
That's the biggest black eye for Stephon Diggs, in my opinion, just because for his entire time here up to that point, he was he would disappear in the offseason, but you knew he was putting in work. He'd come back and run that wide receiver room like a drill sergeant. He's like, nope, I'm the best there is. You're all going to follow me, and we're going to go to the Super Bowl.
And that was so.
That was what I loved about him. That moment where he does this, I was like, ooh, you're getting a little you're getting a little lax with it.
Literally.
And how many quarterbacks can throw the ball that far? There's 2. 3 now, I would say.
I mean, not many can roll right and have 6 inches of space between, white and green and launch it off his back. I've never seen, as much as I love to say, Pat has the greatest arm ever. I watched Josh make a throw to Gabe Davis in Miami a couple years ago. I was like, there is one person in the world that can do that. That's it. There's one person I've seen. I'm watching football 30 plus years, and it's 17 in blue, and I was like, shit. And I think that was his second year where people were like, oh shit, this kid's a problem for the AFC, And I was like, okay,
I think
he's here.
Go ahead.
He's here. And the Rams game,
right?
The opener where they just,
right over Jalen Ramsey. That was amazing.
Just showed out.
Yeah.
I don't even talk about the Patriots game because no one's ever going to do that again. I'm just mad.
I'm
mad that it wasn't our guy.
I talked a lot.
I'm mad that it wasn't our guy that did that to a Bill Belichick defense, which no one will ever do unless you're TCU.
Right, exactly.
Spend time for you and your niece. I mean, your girlfriend.
Did you before we transition to the next segment? Did you see somebody tweeted? Now I understand what UNC means. Unk. It was just so bad.
He released the depth chart for the next week, and there was no one on it.
That Hoover kid from TCU, is a killer.
I didn't watch any of the game, so when they were up, they scored first, and I saw like a Skip Bayless tweet, and it's like, oh, they're gonna roll them, and then I watched the next 3 drives, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, you know why they lost? Because Steve Belichick is not his dad. They keep trying to put this guy in positions, and he just can't do it.
I'm shocked he took that job. Still,
do you know why he took that job?
Well, because the heir would be his son.
Yeah, that's essentially why he took that job, was for his son, because he knows his son can't really coach.
You imagine you could have got a better college job in terms of confidence and prestige.
LSU would have fired Brian Kelly for him.
More successful coaching UNC basketball. at least they're more prestigious in the ACC. I don't know.
Well, you hate UNC basketball, so
don't even get me started.
Well, I think we're pretty biased on our own divisions, and we'll get to them. But we'll start with our NFL predictions. All right, and I've been looking at some betting odds, and everyone keeps throwing in my face. I think it's Tennessee. I think it's 6.5 is the line for wins, and I want to start with the AFC South. I mean, the more and more I look at this division, you've got Danny Dimes, quarterback for the Colts, Cam Ward, who, listen, I think he's gonna be good.
I think he's gonna be good.
I don't see it.
You have the Texans.
Also, didn't see Caleb Williams being good.
Right.
That was wrong. Yeah, he's good.
You have C.J. Stroud, and then you have none other than
Sunshine.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, who, by golly, if he doesn't take a step this year with what he has, we've got a problem
for sure.
I think in that division, obviously, I think it's still the Texans to lose. I think C.J. Stroud, has a gifted arm. He's made some throws that I've been wow, this is incredible. I think he still has to get over that hump in the playoffs. He always seems to, as New York Yankees fans used to say about Luis Severino, when the spotlights are on, he pisses down his leg.
There you go.
But that's who I'm picking for the AFC South. I think they take that division. And I think they're gonna be a problem.
I think their defense,
if Nico
the defense is disgusting.
Is disgusting. They have 2 elite the corners.
Yeah.
They have a star player at every level, and D'Amico Ryans is legit.
He's a great coach.
Prepared for the job in every sense of the word. And I think it helps that they're in a bad division. They're probably going to win 5 or 6 games in that division, and if they split with the rest of the AFC, they're automatically hosting a playoff game.
Right.
So that's super important. But their defense, no one's talking about it, and they should.
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
Really should. They're terrifying.
And listen, the stage is set for Trevor Lawrence. I mean, what more could you ask for?
Yeah.
They've given him everything.
They took away Evan Ingram, though.
They did take away Evan Ingram.
That's
and I think there's a lot riding on Travis Hunter. My concern with Travis Hunter is going to be him playing both sides of the ball.
Sure.
I think he's in shape. I think he's an incredible athlete.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes when you try to play both sides of the ball, You got a lot to process.
I think they're doing it right.
Yeah.
I think starting him at a wide receiver and having him as a backup CB is the right move because, reception, perception, all that stuff, all the fancy stats and everything like that. He is an elite number one wide receiver.
Sure.
You don't need him to, if you can help it, you don't need him to play the other side of the ball. But to give Trevor Lawrence that, which he needs right now, next to Brian Thomas Jr., I would much rather have that.
I forgot about him.
Oh, dude.
Good year, too.
Good year. Yes.
Good year. And I think, too, for the Colts, I think with the passing of Irsay, I think Irsay had a lot to do with the organization. I think now that his daughters have taken over, I think after this year, you're going to see them clean house and do a complete rebuild.
Sure.
And I think Ballard's out. I think Stryken might save his job, but they definitely Colts fans are saying, I have a friend who's a Colts fan, who's saying Arch Manning is the guy they're going for. And I just don't know.
You watch that game on Saturday?
Yeah, I'm good there.
Man.
I'm good there. I might even take Carson Beck over him at this point. Ben, take it away. Next division. AFC West. Let's go right to the Chiefs. AFC West. I think we know that the Chiefs have been the mainstay there. They've been
nine straight.
Nine straight.
Looking to tie that record in a couple of years that New England had. I'm gonna handle this one.
You handle this one. Go right ahead.
It's the Chiefs' division to lose.
Yeah.
Their schedule is a monster. I mean, in the first 6 weeks, you got Detroit, Baltimore, and Philly just in those first 6 games without Rashee Rice too.
Yeah.
By the way, a lot of people aren't talking about Denver Broncos.
Nope. They're going to be good.
They are a top 3 to 5 team on defense. I thought we all saw what like Bo Nix could be.
And you're a blocked field goal away from.
I was there at that game.
Yeah, you were a blocked field goal.
I was like, if I came all the way to fucking Missouri, to the Broncos. Sean Payton's a star. As much of you say what you want about Sean Payton, he knows how to coach. It's been proven. No one's talking about that team. Cortland Sutton's a very good receiver. They're getting like Evan Ingram. They got this guy like Greenlaw, who's a linebacker who used to play for the Niners, who actually went out with an Achilles tear,
jumping up and down,
jumping onto the field. You could argue that was a big factor in that game.
They had momentum,
a lot of momentum. And they drafted this running back Harvey, I think is his name. He's gonna get a lot of carries.
He's going high in a lot of fantasy football drafts too.
And given that I believe they finished 3rd in their schedule, they could challenge the Chiefs for that division. Yeah. We all know what the Raiders are going to do. The Raiders are going to be the Raiders. Just win, baby. Just waiting, baby.
Don't tell Raiders fans that. They actually think they have a shot this year.
They don't.
With Amari Cooper going back.
I don't care who your quarterback is or your Richard Gere ripoff coach who can't call a play when it matters. It's Denver and it's Kansas City. And I think what happens in the non-conference games might be the difference. Because we have Philly, we have, like Detroit, and they don't. So I think the Chiefs really need to play well in the first 6 games without Rice, go 4-2, sustain that, because I think them at full strength, I think you're going to see a lot better Chiefs offense this year.
For sure.
A lot better. But yeah, I would go Kansas City, obviously.
It seems like you guys, because you got that left tackle.
I will sing his praises forever. I actually wrote, I ripped off Kevin Costner in draft day. I wrote Josh Simmons, no matter what.
Yeah.
The league letting a generational left tackle fall to them at 31 is criminal. In my opinion, he's looked the part. Mm-hmm. He had a minor knee injury in college, and he gave up like 6 pressures his whole college career. It's some insane number.
Yeah. In
a very competitive program and conference, Josh Simmons is the real deal.
Yeah.
They got better with depth. They have probably the best center in football in Creed Humphrey. The line's better. They're getting, Rice back.
Seems like you're going back to explosive plays too. Or you're trying to get down.
Watching them in preseason, you can tell that it's a wrinkle that hasn't been there. Mm-hmm. Having Hollywood Brown, having Xavier Worthy, having Tyquan Thornton's going to have.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, some plays for them. They have 3 guys that run a sub 4.3. That is a whole different thing that
for sure.
Yeah, I mean he's been dealing with. I mean, you lose wide receiver 1 and 2 last year, RB1 left tackle. Your offense is going to struggle. If they can keep those components healthy and limit the snaps that Kelsey has to, he had the most snaps of his career last year. Not sustainable for a guy his age. Mm-hmm. They could be a problem. And I think their defense is just going to be, what it is. Spags is a good coach. They're going to make plays when they have to. A lot of bend, and not breaking. And I think they'll be a lot better, but the league's better. Their schedule is a monster, so.
I'm going to let you handle AFC East because I know you're chomping at the bit for it. I'll handle the AFC.
No, you're
North.
good.
No, you do the East. Go AFC
you're
East.
good, dude.
No, AFC East. Go ahead.
Benny, you know you want these.
Benny, you want the East. I'll take the AFC North because I got a lot to say about that.
So we got the Jets, we got New England, we got Miami, and we got us. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think Miami is going to be awful.
I agree.
I think they are going to be really, really bad.
Coach fired by 6 games in the season.
Yes. And I think, and what's sad about Miami is the same thing that always happens. Their fans are just going to go be Heat fans and go do whatever else because it's always hilarious when
Thank God for the Panthers.
Yeah, right. It's always hilarious when I get shit talked on Facebook. I'm like, where were you? Where you been?
Where were you? Period?
Yeah.
Plus,
where were you? What's
LeBron
going on?
left. Are there even any Heat fans
Yeah, right.
left? Anyways?
They love to cling on to a Super Bowl they won when none of them were alive. It's hysterical. The Jets, I think I do think the Jets are going to be a little bit better than people think because
I
they're
like Justin Fields.
I do too.
It's not even that I like Justin Fields. That team has talent on
Yeah,
it.
Sure.
They're
And
good coach.
that coach is good. To immediately start off your campaign with that team and to tell Aaron Rodgers to his face, make him fly to you and tell him to kick rocks.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's still cojones, dude.
That's impressive.
That's awesome.
That's impressive.
And then the Patriots, it is no secret I am kind of starting
Nervous.
I'm getting terrified of the Patriots because I love Drake May.
Trayvon Henderson?
I think
Trevion Henderson?
Your order is my order.
yeah.
Like bottom to top. And I think there's a clear separation from 1 and 2 to 3 and 4.
Yes.
So yeah.
I think if Drake May they got a good coach now. I think
He's a killer. Man.
he's a good coach. He's a good coach.
Took Ryan Tannehill to a conference championship.
That's at least 9-10 games right there just off of him. And if
Yeah.
if Drake May doesn't have a sophomore slump, which even if he does, I think there's enough there to insulate. He's going to have a good defense. He's going to have, and then obviously us. I think we get the division title again. I think I don't if whether we sweep or not.
6 in a row. That would it be?
Yeah, it'd be 6. Whether it's a sweep or not, I mean, we are good for one weird, goofy game against the AFC East. Sure. I think that's how it shapes up. We're going to be sitting here waiting until January again, in my opinion.
It all kicks off.
Kind of where I'm at.
It all kicks off Sunday against the Ravens, and I'm going to take us into AFC North. I mean, the Ravens are the team to beat, the creme de la creme. I think Lamar Jackson is one of the best athletes besides Josh Allen, obviously. Sure. I think they're always neck and neck, which have no idea how Josh got ranked 3 in the NFL rankings. Was it top 100 players?
Sure.
He's 3.
What was Lamar?
Lamar 2, and Mahomes was 1, right?
No, he was 5.
No, he was 5. Sorry, 1
was
Saquon Barkley.
One was Saquon.
I just and there's nothing against Saquon Barkley, but I just think in a universe where you have Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, there has to go 1-2. It has to.
Right, and you could
and you could flip flop. You could
do whatever order you want.
You
I'm
could
not gonna fight
argue
it.
the most polished quarterback is neither one of those guys. It's a kid in Cincinnati,
Oh, Joe Burrow?
but he has no defense.
Right.
There's no defense. He can't stay healthy.
But I think what's incredible about this division is they always beat the crap out of each other. That's a division where you're going to they can lose 2 games in that division.
Yeah.
I think no matter what anyone says about Aaron Rodgers, and I can't stand Aaron Rodgers. I used to love Aaron Rodgers, can't stand him anymore. I think Pittsburgh, with Aaron Rodgers being able to navigate that offense, they don't even need to be great. They just need to move the ball down the field. They have DK Metcalf, which I think is a better fit than George Pickens.
Sure.
They have TJ Watt. I mean, they have a defense. Jalen Ramsey just went there too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So I think you're going to watch all these teams beat the crap out of each other, but I think it's going to come down again to Pittsburgh, Baltimore, battling out for that division.
Sure.
And then I'm not taking away from Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's there if they stay healthy. That's the big thing.
It's just not.
It's just not there.
No, it's non-existent.
not.
And their wide receiver, Jamar Chase, who one of the best receivers I've ever seen.
Freak.
Filthy.
Freak.
Just for some reason can't get out of his own way of saying stupid things.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that really kind of hinders them a little bit. People don't like them because of that. And then there's Cleveland. The
mistake by the lake.
The mistake by the lake. I'll tell you what, if you put that defense on any other roster in the NFL, they'd be a great football team. For some reason, they cannot, and I shouldn't say anything.
Who started
them? Joe Flacco.
Oh, God, yeah.
Flacco.
You know the back of this? Dylan Gabriel. Kenny Pickett got traded. Dylan Gabriel's their
right.
backup.
Oh,
Yeah.
Shador Sanders is 3. And I'm sorry.
Where does Watson on the depth chart? I'm just kidding.
And I think for Shador Sanders, as much as I've always been like, I don't like that Colorado's retiring his number, and I don't even think they retired Cordell Stewart's number.
Yeah, that's wild.
Is wild, but like, we have to at some point give this kid credit for being somewhat athletic, right? He's very athletic. You're telling me he's not more athletic than Dylan Gabriel? Like, come on.
I think you're going to see him at some point.
You have to.
For sure.
You have to.
And if you don't, that's a testament to him not
Right.
knowing the playbook or not putting in the effort, because I can't see Flacco staying healthy, and I can't see him, like Gabriel in that division with those type of defenses
Right.
sustain any sort of success.
And what's wild about the Browns, they had a shot at Josh Allen, Sam Darnold, and I love Baker Mayfield. I think
say
Baker
it all the
Mayfield's
time,
great.
yeah.
They took Baker Mayfield first of all and ruined the whole draft. It screwed everyone's draft board.
That
up.
roster would have been Josh Allen, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Jarvis Landry, David Njoku, and Odell Beckham.
Yeah.
With an elite top 5 line and a great defense.
Do you know who else they had?
You could argue that they could have been the Chiefs.
Right.
Yeah, but
I mean, the way the roster was structured, like tough running team, tough defense, air out passing.
But do you know what's wild, even crazier about that? That there was a guy on that roster that was one of the best receivers in college football that never panned out, Corey Coleman.
Sure.
Corey Coleman could not latch on, and I remember Todd Haley being like, "Oh, well, he doesn't have it." It's like you didn't give him a
Did
chance.
he cry
Yeah.
on Hard Knocks?
He did. He did. I felt
Y'all
bad
tried.
for him.
Y'all
Hey,
tried.
just
try
give
to
me a
coach.
minute.
He was on our practice squad.
He came to the Bills.
Yeah, he
didn't do anything.
You can run fast.
Yeah.
There has to be other variables to to have any sort of success at that position in this league when guys are just living in the film.
For sure.
room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the NFC, which is Vinny's nemesis right now.
Ugh.
We'll go with the NFC East. We'll let you take this one away because the Giants are in this division,
Yeah.
but also your nemesis, the Philadelphia
I think
Eagles.
everyone knows who it's Philly's division.
Yeah.
Lose a couple of guys on defense. They had so much depth. I don't really see any sort of loss there. You got Saquon. You have AJ Brown. You have Devontae
They have
Smith.
Howie Roseman,
Yeah, who is
one of the best
one
GMs
of
of all time.
to get Nolan Smith and JD in the same draft. I was at that draft in Kansas City, and we were hoping to get Smith on the back end of round 1, and they took him a pick before us, and I was like, how do you just build that kind of? He's great, and I think that's a big reason why they kicked our ass last year. It's Philly's division. I can see Washington, making some noise. I can see that team or that division having 2 to 3 teams, but then it would contradict what's going to happen in the North, with how competitive they were last year. So it's Philly's division. The Giants are a train wreck. I think they've got a little bit better on defense. Okay,
We're just not going to mention
Russ-
just not going to not mention the
Russ.
Cowboys.
the Cowboys. You just trade. Imagine being a Dallas sports fan and trading away 2 generational pieces like Luka Doncic and Micah Parsons.
I know.
I would move to Austin immediately. I mean, Austin's way better than Dallas anyway. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But I just don't see it from Dallas. I think Washington is a better team. They were a better team last year. It's just you would have seen it from this Dallas group already. You would have seen some sort of sustainable success. And I think Philly is a huge roadblock. And with Washington getting better, they're going back to those old jerseys too. I don't know if you guys saw that. Those sick.
I did.
They're sick. Not the old logo. We're not gonna get into that, but
What's wild about the Cowboys, and I think I texted you this. I might have texted you. We're not going to pay our pass rusher. We're instead going to give $96 million to a quarterback.
to a cornerback who's pretty good.
Yeah.
But you can argue Micah Parsons is the most disruptive guy on the edge, aside from Watt and Garrett in the NFL. You pay those guys. You don't let them move.
There is nobody who has had more pressures in the past 5 years than Micah Parsons.
There you go. That's the first thing I say as his agent.
Yep.
There hasn't been anybody better at this position. Pay us what he deserves.
But that,
I guess he was asking for some wild money though.
yeah, but you don't.
You have it.
But this is Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones watched that documentary
Sure.
and he looked at it and said, "I did it once. I'm going to do it again."
Oh, the Herschel Walker trade?
Yeah, absolutely. And then he looked, and from both sides,
Crazy to think
him picking up a microphone and taking the sides he did on so many things with Micah Parsons, saying, what did he say about? He was like, well, he could go get in a car wreck tomorrow. Just
Stop
weird
talking
shit like
It could
that.
happen
Yeah.
to anybody.
Stop
Tom
talking,
Brady
Jerry.
got in a
Yeah.
car accident once. He was
But
fine.
this is like,
What a shame.
this is his MO. He takes way too long to sign these players, and then he signs them for inflated prices.
In the same conversation, he mentioned that Dak Prescott is the highest paid football player too.
Yeah.
which is to even throw that in there, it's gotta piss.
Then keeps re-signing Ezekiel Elliott. Which is just like, what are you doing?
I don't know. You would have seen it from Dallas already. And I think this is, I mean, the receiving core is good. I mean, Dak's on a bum. They're not better than Philly and Washington. They're not. They're just not. It's Philly's division. 12, 13 wins easy.
NFC South is one that I love because most of the teams, except for Tampa Bay, are pretty bad.
Sure.
And I think the Saints just got worse with David Carr. Well,
Makes me sad, man.
Derek Carr. Obviously, you don't like Derek Carr, so we won't even get into it.
I always had a soft spot for him because when he wasn't working at Hot Topic, he was quarterbacking the Raiders to just mediocrity against the Chiefs. And he would always do us a big favor at the end of the game. He would throw some lame shit duck fade to one of our defensive backs. And I was like, there's a Derek Carr I knew.
And it's just, he decides to retire. They have, what's his name? I don't even know. Schlong? The quarterback,
Derek Schlong.
Derek Schlong,
Derek Schlong,
yeah, whatever. But I think it's funny because Spencer Rattler is the guy that's got to play. And if you've ever watched this quarterback show,
They named him one.
They named him one.
Yeah.
This quarterback show, it's called Quarterback. The first season, it's him. I think Justin Fields is on. There's a couple other quarterbacks. Spencer Rattler has the worst attitude of anybody I've ever met. He's just entitled, and he was a gamer, but Oklahoma didn't want him. He went to South Carolina. He played okay. He's a live arm. He's just not good at football.
Sure.
But the one team, it's definitely Tampa Bay's to lose. But the Panthers, is it Canales? Is that his name? The coach from Carolina.
Yeah.
He fixed Bryce Young. Bryce Young
played really well. Yeah, really well against the Chiefs last year.
And I got to tell you, I wouldn't chalk him up as a easy win. Not that Hunter Renfrow is really going to make a huge difference, but getting a guy like Hunter Renfrow to play. Yeah. Did you hear Hunter Renfrow in an interview?
No.
Apparently his agent was trying to call him. He'd been out of football for a year.
Sure.
And his daughter was using his phone and kept ending the call and watching Bluey. So finally he's like, give me that phone. It was his agent going, hey, the Panthers want to sign you. And I think having a guy like Hunter Renfrow in your locker room, a possession guy, is good.
Great route runner.
Team's got a long way to go, but they always have a good roster. We should know. We get all the Carolina Panther
That's like when
rejects.
When the Raiders called like Monty Kiffin and Lane answered. He's like, I'll take the job.
Yeah.
And just ran them into mediocrity even more. Yeah.
But I mean, I think that division, the Falcons are the biggest question mark because I don't think anyone throws a better spiral than Michael Penix Jr. Yeah. The highlights I've been seeing, but like Kyle Pitts is just
it's got to happen.
Drake London,
I'm
it's
shocked.
got to happen.
I'm shocked he didn't get traded this year.
Who?
Shocked. The Pitts.
Pitts. He has to get traded.
You would think this would be the maturation year with having like London as good as he is and having like Bijan and opening up the field, but
anybody I talk to about the NFC South, we always talk about our teams like, our team's in shambles.
Sure.
They're like, our division's in shambles. We never know who's winning the division.
That's like the Old West.
Yeah.
When it was like just Seattle. It was good.
Yeah.
It's Baker's division for sure.
NFC North. I think you like this one. The Lions. You like the Lions.
I do like the Lions.
Rawr.
Right.
Remember Wenzel? Every time the Lions scored, he'd go, rawr.
I remember them beating us on opening night a couple years ago.
They were not happy about that.
I rationally hating Dan Campbell for a week.
Oh, you hated Kadarius Toney for life.
Someone bought me an autographed Toney jersey
And you threw
for
it
my
in
birthday
garbage.
last year. I can't throw away because he's a great guy. Shout out Matt Newman.
Yeah.
He's the nicest guy in the world. And he's like, I got you a gift. And I was like, it looks like a signature on a Chiefs jersey. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. It's like Kadarius Toney. It sits in my garage, like on the shelf, and I'm just like, I will never have the audacity to put that on display anywhere.
So you got Detroit, you got Green Bay. That just became so much more interesting to me because as much as like when talk about betting lines, when Dallas traded Parsons, they went from plus 4,500 to win the Super Bowl to plus 6,000, and I think it moved just as much in Green Bay's way when they added Micah Parsons.
Right.
Micah Parsons is going to take that Green Bay team places. Right. If Jordan Love takes a step back or does anything, they now have an absolute dynamite person on the back end of it. I mean, you got Minnesota there. Just everybody forgets they won 14 games last year. But the problem with them is there's a huge if at the most important position.
Yeah.
JJ McCarthy's got a cannon, though.
But it's an if. He's coming off an ACL tear.
You would have to assume that he's not going to give you what Sam Darnold gave you last year.
Justin Jefferson's down there somewhere.
It's a rightful, right.
Yeah, right.
It's a rightful thing to say, but
But they got a nasty defense. I like their coach a lot.
Yeah.
So, and then I mean Jay Jettas, man, Jefferson's on that team.
Well, you can't forget about Ben Johnson coming over to coach the Bears.
Right.
Canandaigua High School grad Ryan Poles, who literally buried me on a high school football field in a state qualifier game. Shout out, bro. I think he's done a great job trying to get Chicago in the right position.
I do too.
They have a great offensive line.
I'm excited to watch him coach.
They have great
I'm
teams.
excited to see what he does with Caleb.
They have weapons
Yes,
too.
they do.
Weapons. And they got like Joe
Romeo
Tooney, and that line got better.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they're that's.
So you're
that's
still
a
giving it
tough-
to the Lions?
Yeah,
at this
yeah.
point?
I'll give it to the Lions at this point.
bite
I think
kneecaps.
Green Bay is live. I do think Detroit's got it for right now, but I think Green Bay's live. That's where I'm at with it.
That's like the AFC North. They're gonna beat the crap out of each other, and I think it's
Yeah.
gonna be a great division to watch. And hopefully, the playoffs are a little bit more.
You could argue that those two divisions, the North and North, may have two of the best teams, but they won't be the highest seeds because of the
Right.
The
beating
divisions.
up on each other. So it's good for us, being like Bills and Chiefs fans. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't think Baltimore gets a 1 seed this year. You would have to assume not.
They hand the ball to Derrick Henry. They might.
Schedule wise, it might be us.
The Fountain. If I had to put money on it, I would
be
think
the
the
year.
road goes through Buffalo,
Yeah.
just off of what I'm seeing in front of me. And
Right.
There's so much. They're so far ahead of everyone else in their division. I know you said that the Patriots scare you a little bit, but
Not this year, but I'm saying in general. I
sure.
think,
And I mean, like Christian Gonzalez, that corner they have is a freaking stud.
Yeah.
So but the high seeds are going to go to who they go to. So
And what's crazy is the fact, like you said. I mean, I think the GMs in the NFC North, I would say 3 of the 4 teams in the AFC North, they all pull the trigger when they feel it's right.
Sure.
Like if you look at those NFC North teams, they all had to get a key player somewhere to make their team better. Like think about that Jared Goff trade. Matt Stafford for Jared Goff.
people wrote him off.
People wrote Jared Goff.
Which was wild.
He's one of the most
Yeah.
consistent fantasy football quarterbacks that you could ever have. Ever have, and it's incredible. But which leads me to the last division, which I hate this division. I hate the NFC West. Without Larry
Okay.
Fitzgerald,
Okay.
Here's why. There was a year where I think it was the Sam Bradford Rams year, where one team finished 7-9.
That was when
and made the playoffs.
Seattle. That was the beast mode game.
Yeah.
When they beat the Saints, they were 7-9. It was the only division at the time. I think it might have happened since. Don't quote me. Yeah, but they were 7-9, and they got to the I think the conference
Sure.
championship.
I thought it was the Rams were 7-9. They won. They were division winner or something. It was something weird.
I know the year that
It's a
beast
toss-up.
mode, that iconic run, they were under 500 and the division winner because they hosted the Saints that year. So that's how I kind of put
Because wasn't that the year the Raiders went 6-5-1 in the division and they didn't make the playoffs, or they didn't win the division? It was something weird.
I try not to pay attention to anything that the Raiders
sorry.
do, especially since Tom Brady's there now.
But if you
Never trust an owner who cuts his own hair.
okay.
Okay.
Al Davis.
Yeah. Mark Davis.
Mark Davis, sorry.
Al Davis is in the
He
ground.
cut his hair too. But I think when
He
you
cut the life support. That's what he cut. Cash and checks, baby.
he's still got
Catering. I'll take a water
still
refill.
got a flip phone. But I do think
Keep
it's
getting mouthy, dude. I'm gonna stick Kanzi on you.
it's Matt Stafford's division. As always, it's the Rams division, and I'm pulling for the Rams this year because of Dolak. UB grad Dolak transfer made the team. We had a local kid story in Buffalo with Joe Andreessen, but I think Dolak's definitely someone to watch out there for the Rams. But I mean, you look at the Cardinals, Kyler Murray just can't seem to figure it out. Their coach is weird.
It would have happened.
You got that fire in your gut?
What's that?
Get that fire in your gut?
do you mean?
The coach for the Cardinals? How many of you drove here today? How many of you took the bus?
Yeah.
You got that fire in your gut? What was he trying to do there?
That dude's off.
I do like the Seahawks though a little bit. I think by the end of the season, no disrespect to Sam Darnold, I think Jalen Milroe is your starter. I think there's a lot. He's got a live arm. I think there's a lot there. And then of course, who else is in that division?
What's crazy? Nick?
Yeah, right.
We have
dude.
not mentioned
49ers.
49ers.
Who have been to two Super Bowls in 5 years.
Brock Purdy got paid, and I think getting Deebo Samuel out of that situation, my only concern with them is who the hell is catching passes for them? Brandon Ayuk's coming off an ACL.
They're banged up for sure.
They're banged up pretty good. Christian McCaffrey, who knows what's going to
Sky
happen?
Moore. They got Sky
They got
Moore.
Sky Moore.
Sky's the limit.
Their defense is good.
It's great, and I feel like we got lucky beating them twice.
Yeah.
Because they were so good defensively, but you have to
George Kittle.
Yeah, I mean their coach is a loser, and I don't mean to be, listen. Hear me out.
He's a Shanahan. He's a loser.
Let's not be a prick about it. This is a guy who was a top coordinator for the Falcons when they had a massive lead. They abandoned the run game with a 25-point lead in the Super Bowl in the third quarter with Devontae Freeman. That's strike one. You had a 10-point lead with 7 minutes left against the Chiefs in Super Bowl 54. You lost that game. You had a 10-point lead in the second half of this past Super Bowl against the Chiefs 2 years ago, and you lost. You cannot. You're a loser. Listen, I'm sure he's a lovely guy, but those are 3 very good indictments of just him not being able to coach in big games. Yeah. And I think that's not going to change. I think their roster has had a big turnover and a lot of changes, and I think they're not going to be as good as they once were. But wouldn't surprise me if they were lingering around, at the end. But I don't know.
It's going to be a good football season. There's a lot of storylines.
The Rams were going to be my Super Bowl pick if they wouldn't have to roll Matt Stafford out and put him all kinds of
just can't
dope in him.
Yeah,
yeah. He's
Coach Kilmer shot.
At this point in his career, he and Clayton Kershaw are best friends.
Are they?
And what's wild about it is
I know that.
There was an ESPN.
He's the third. He's the third friend.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But what's funny about it is they're both injecting themselves with something and rolling out because Clayton Kershaw just signed is playing for the Dodgers. Still, he's like their 6th man or their mop-up guy. It's crazy. But yeah, no, I think we're pretty on the money with those predictions. I mean, obviously, where our biases lie, but our segment that we always end the show with, Vinny, that we think is going to be really, really fun and interesting today is.
There's a universe where, ladies and gentlemen, there's a universe where we tried this out last show and it worked out perfectly, so we're going to do this again, okay? So basically, what I'm going to say to you, what we're going to say to you, is we're going to give you a scenario. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be, what if you didn't win the Super Bowl?
What if Scott Norwood made the feed? What the Bills want?
Looking at short answers or just...
You could go on as long as you want.
All right.
But basically... If this didn't happen, what would you think of it?
Sure. And we're asking you because we're afraid if you ask us, it might go off the rails again.
We've argued a few times before.
Yeah. If the Kardashian never mind. We won't go that way. Okay.
So the first one we wanted to ask you is there's a universe where the Buffalo Braves still exist as a basketball team. How do you think that changes the landscape? What in your opinion, what does things look like?
I think they have a massive fan base in a town that just loves to root for sports.
Right.
You would assume so. I wish I would have got to live in that era to see basketball at that level here. It would have never. We would have no Steve Ballmer. That's great because they became the Clippers. If I'm not mistaken.
Who recently just got caught laundering money to Kawhi Leonard,
creating fake
companies. Grandmother's florist for $28 million, but not show up. No show jobs. Shout out to Paulie Galtieri.
Two no-show jobs.
Two no-show jobs. Would be no cock neither. Anyway, you can edit that out or you cannot. Anyway, the real ones know. Yeah.
I think I'd be a basketball fan.
I would have
I'm
loved
not
to see,
right now.
I can't guarantee that I would have stayed a Knicks fan because I feel like I love the idea of my heart was just in 2 different places for the Rangers and Chiefs.
Sure.
I still love watching my friends rabidly rooting for their teams. I think basketball would be huge here. Huge here. And I think that if it wasn't such a 2-team city, you could revisit that. But I think that ship has sailed, and it is what it is now. But
I think people forget too that Buffalo has a rich history of basketball. I mean, Christian Laettner.
Sure, yeah. Nichols grad.
Nichols grad. I mean, there's guys like a guy.
His jersey's up in Danny's on 58 in the rafters.
Guy in the late 60s, early 70s, Tom Balin. I mean, he played on a travel team with Pistol Pete. I mean, this basketball, I had to do a class, I had to write an article for a journalism class with Keith McShay. For the Buffalo News, and we had to write about basketball in Buffalo, and we learned that there's so much love for basketball.
Sure.
And I'm sick of people saying that a team can't be supported here. I think if you put a team or product on the floor, I think at this point,
I think it totally would have been.
With this hockey, with the way our hockey team's going,
I think you'd still have fans.
For gosh sakes, we're bringing a professional soccer team here. We could do that
Stallions. Too. Is that still happening?
Is it the Stallions?
They're
location. Okay,
they're switching the stadium.
I am a founding member.
Wasn't sure.
Watch what you say. I got 2 tickets. I'm a founding member.
Bring back the Blizzard, kid. Those games
I'd go watch them
when I was a kid.
Absolutely.
Rudy Pepesinski, whatever the hell.
Pepesinski.
The nasty mullet.
was like the Rochester Raging Rhinos growing up. Doug Miller.
Yeah.
And I went to Doug Miller's soccer camp, and he's like, dude, you don't have it. So then I switched to baseball.
Damn.
How about a soccer build, you and I?
No.
No.
We could be the ball, for God's
Or
sake.
about like a refrigerator
Yeah.
recliner type guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Second question. I think we love this question.
Yeah.
I know what it is.
There's
I
a
know it's
universe where the Buffalo Bills select Patrick Mahomes instead of trading the pick away to the Chiefs and drafting Tre'Davious
I
White.
don't think Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes here. And I don't say that as a knock on the Bills. Patrick Mahomes walked into Andy Reid.
Yep.
He walked into Travis Kelce. He walked
into
Tyreek
Alex Smith
Hill.
as his
He
mentor.
walked into the bridge to a dynasty in Alex Smith, who I think gets no credit at all. Alex Smith was a great quarterback
That team
for the
was
Chiefs.
stacked.
They won a lot. He walked into weapons, and they had a good offensive mind there. He walked into a perfect situation. He wouldn't have then. On the flip side, you could argue, what if Josh Allen was quarterback of the Chiefs? I think there's still a tremendous amount of success there. Not a knock on Patrick Mahomes. Andy Reid is a brilliant
he's the man.
play caller. I mean, this kid walked into a tremendous situation. To be able to sit a year, they won 12 games that year too.
Yeah.
So to even draft a guy in the first round, a 10th overall, off a season that you were hosting a divisional playoff game, was wild, and I was for it because I like the tape, and anyone in a Kingsbury offense will get you excited. But yeah, I think if he's a Bill, I don't think we're talking about him.
What I think, right?
Honestly,
What I think is crazy about Andy Reid too, and I tell you this, and I'm sure you've read this because you're big into your Chiefs fandom. When Patrick Mahomes started out, just how good of a coach Andy Reid is, he told Pat, he said, "Listen, I don't need you to know everything. I need you to read 3 areas of the field.
Sure.
If this is an open, go here. If this is an open, go there." And I think when Pat realized he didn't have to burden all of that,
sure,
he was able to kind of regress.
he dumped it down for him.
Dumb
for
it down,
sure. Yep.
and then now you're listening to podcasts where Travis Kelce's saying they're going out and playing pickup volleyball,
Yeah.
and they don't know where their libero is because he's in his car, drawing up a playbook and sending it to his offensive
I
coordinator.
think when you have a coach like that who is going to dumb things down to make his guy feel confident, then it's the next step to unleash the next part of the playbook.
Right.
And there's a few guys that have ever been able to do that. Like Bill Walsh, Andy Reid, like guys like that. You could argue Sean Payton's been really successful and done some crazy stuff offensively. But yeah, I don't think I think Patrick Mahomes is as great as he is. He walked into a fantastic situation. No one can argue that either.
No, right.
Chiefs fans are not. I mean, I'm not. I'll get shit for that.
Yeah.
I'm sure, but I don't care. I know football, and I know when someone falls ass backwards in a success.
It's the one
The
thing.
Snooki Polizzi Award we call it back in the day. Yeah.
It's the one thing that when we go toe to toe in the playoffs like we do, I mean, you divide it into all sides of the ball and who has the advantage.
I think that's
It's the one thing.
It's the difference.
It's the one thing that I don't think we will ever get over with the current one. Now, every year is different.
Sure.
Maybe Sean decides to.
Maybe guys
more-
will get hurt too. Like
Yeah, right.
that's been an issue too.
100%. But last year I think last year was the most you've had over you guys, and they still couldn't do it in crunch time. I think
I don't think we had the offense. It's weird. Our offense was just malignant all year, and then
which is
we
crazy.
had our best offensive game against you guys last year. But I think it's also a byproduct of you guys were down some guys.
Patrick Mahomes' 4 greatest games in his career, EPA wise, are against us in the playoffs.
Sure.
All 4 of them.
Well, you brought up too, Bill Walsh, Mike Nolan.
Sure, yeah.
I read a lot of articles about Mike Nolan because the way he coached. I love the fascination, the psychology of coaching, and they were saying that when they shifted from Montana to Steve Young, they were having these issues with him dropping, and he was underthrowing or overthrowing Jerry Rice.
Sure.
And Nolan said to him, because he said, "Why don't you try a 5-step drop?"
Yeah.
And he tried a 5-step drop, and he hit Jerry Rice in stride every single time. And it's just amazing that those little things that you can see on film make the difference. And it's always like with Bills fans, we're always one film away.
Sure.
From something, and we're always missing something. And I hope this year is where we connect all the dots and we finally get over that hump and get where we need to go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't want to make this too much longer, but you bringing that up made me think of for Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
How different Josh Allen's throw is from 9 years ago.
Yeah.
When he had the little hitch.
Sure.
And he completely has changed his throwing motion.
Dude, some guys never get rid of that weird thing. They don't.
Dude, I don't know if
and that's what separates
I don't know if you watched it, but he literally stood with 6 different 3D cameras around him. And the trainer that they hired to do this with all of their quarterbacks was like, There's guys
There
who
it
are
is.
great. There's guys who are elite. He goes, and then there are aliens.
Yeah.
He goes, where I tell this guy to learn something
Sure.
and it takes him 2 to 3 months. He goes, it takes Josh 2 to 3
Yeah.
reps.
I think
to
it's
figure
also
that out.
important to like you want to get better from knowing what you're doing wrong, getting better from your mistakes. A testament to like Lamar. I've been guilty of this too. Lamar's a running quarterback. Lamar has worked at that craft of being a quarterback as much as anybody.
Absolutely.
Because you've seen it. And it's as much as I don't like him as a play. You've seen the growth and you've seen a guy who's like spent time, whether it's film, whether it's just seeing things that could make the difference between a completion and a pick, and that's points on or off the board. So
Right.
yeah, it's good that you have a guy that's willing to just like put that work and just like learn from mistakes, because a lot of guys aren't, and they're usually working not in the NFL.
Yeah, right. 100%.
Well, Vinnie, Lord Urban, trophy guy, thanks for joining us on
Absolute
episode 3.
fucking pleasure.
Episode 3.
This was really fun.
Which, funny story, at Notre Dame, Joe Montana wore number 3,
3.
which is just a full circle moment here.
Another jersey that hangs in Danny's on 58. What is it, 75? Yeah.
Danny's on 58. If you don't know about it, you can't afford it.
We don't know. We don't want you. We don't want you there.
Broken Tables, Broken Dreams podcast. I'm Joe Conzi. He's Ben Damagala. He's Vinnie Garofalo. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook. Watch our YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube. Ben, do you have anything else you want to share with us before we send this off?
No, it's been a long one. It's been a good one. We got a lot of good info out. I'm excited for the next one, guys.
All right.
And good luck in the league this year,
Best
baby.
of luck, boys.
Absolutely.
We'll see you next time.
Perfect.